Good day and welcome to this week's first segment of A Week at the Plot. And actually it feels slightly different for me, it really does. This is the first segment of A Week at the Plot that I have done where I've not been chair of our allotment association. I don't know, I mean it shouldn't feel that much different, but giving up that role as the chair, or not re-standing as the chair, it feels quite liberating. It really does. If you've been watching A Week at the Plot for a while, you'll know that in January, February last year, I gave up being chair of the big national charity Social Farms and Gardens. And that was quite a big move for me because I've been very heavily involved in it for a long time. And then over last year, I also cut back certain volunteering that I was doing in the local area because I felt that I needed more time to myself. And then, of course, that has continued this year. And then, of course, there's been further changes with mum dying. You know, there's been a lot of changes in the last 18 months. And possibly one of the most liberating of those is the fact that I'm now no longer chair here. I will of course continue to be helpful to other people. It's in my nature, and to give them guidance and point them in the right direction. But I don't know, there's something that's a little bit different about it. And also, the structure of our allotment association is also going to be changing a little bit as well, because the jobs that I used to do as chair are being meted out to more of the committee members, which I think is absolutely the right thing. And I think our association and our members really is quite a nice tight association now, and therefore feeling that other jobs are being done by other people who'll be able to take those on to, you know, hopefully bigger and better things is really fantastic. So last night we had our first committee meeting of this tenancy year, and it was in the Fox pub across the road. And yeah, there were 2 new members who were voted on at the AGM last month. 2 members came off the AGM, or came off at the AGM last month. So there is a sort of change of personnel, and you know, that's good. I'm still going to be leading the working parties because I really do enjoy the working parties, and I like sort of keeping the site tidy. But hopefully by relinquishing other jobs here, I'm going to have more time for myself and Richard, and for time at the plot as well. So things that I'm relinquishing are like engagement with the charity, or direct engagement with the charity. Of course, you don't just stop talking to people, but there's somebody else who is going to be the coordinator with the charity. The water side of things, the metering and the switching off and the switching on, that's going to be done by somebody else. The ordering of the bulk order of compost that we do is going to be done by somebody else. Events and the organisation of events, our social events, again, will be managed by another person. So, you know, it really does feel quite liberating, and I didn't feel I would feel like this, but it really does. And also something that came to my mind as soon as I woke up this morning was a raffia chair, a raffia blue wooden chair in the shed with the title Tales from the Allotment Chair. So obviously that's a sort of pun on the word chair, and I've jotted down, I've written about 20 pages of Tales from the Allotment Chair. Whether it will continue, I don't know. I mean, they're not 20 solid pages. I reckon that's across about 8 different chapters, but there's a lot of solid paragraphs in there. There's a lot of really good sentences in there as well, and then there's just words of ideas that could be, you know, used across the book. So whether that will come to fruition, I'm not sure, but you know what, I don't know. Yeah, I feel good. I feel good, and isn't that a good thing? Isn't that a good thing? And the sun is absolutely glorious. It was belting in the polytunnel when I was harvesting our parsley. It was absolutely belting in there, and it's belting across the site at the moment, and of course across our plot. I thought I might do a piece from the greenhouse today, but it's too bright in there to do that, so I'm doing it in the shed. It's even too bright if I shut the poly door to do it in the poly, so we've tried that as well. When I say we, I mean me. So yes, we're back in the shed here. We're back in the shed. Who said on Planet Vegetaria that I might need a new shed? Who said that? I can't remember. But they had a lovely shed, and it had a sort of a stove in it as well, which was absolutely fabulous. So yeah, so it's really sunny, which is glorious, because this morning we had torrential rain. We had absolutely torrential rain this morning. It started raining, I suppose, about 10 o'clock. From 11 till about 1, it really was absolutely bucketing it down. And we're in Storm Debbie at the moment. And even though the southern part of England was not supposed to sort of really feel anything about Storm Debbie, yesterday we got some real big gusts. We really did. And I did think about the greenhouse and think, you know, will it survive? A few people mentioned on last week's upload on YouTube, is it screwed in? Well, yes, those slabs were put down by my fellow plot holder, and then he screwed the greenhouse into those slabs. So yeah, it's pretty fixed. And in fact, when you try and move it, it doesn't budge at all. So I think it just buffeted off the wind that we did get. So yeah, there we are. And isn't it funny how a relatively small change in your life can bring about a certain sort of reinvigoration and re-energization? And I certainly do feel, as I said in our newsletter, that I feel as though I have a new energy for the plot in November. You know, we've come into November, things have sort of balanced themselves out from the changes and challenges of the last few months. Getting the greenhouse just feels delightful and wonderful and fortunate, and I do feel quite re-energized, which is of course a good thing. And the good things continue. I was speaking to one of our tenants here and saying that somebody else wanted to grow asparagus, and did they have any asparagus seeds? And then I come into my shed, and there's a whole load of asparagus seeds. So of course these are asparagus berries. These are the berries of the asparagus plant, and in these berries is the seeds. So these really need some good cold weather, vernalization over the winter, and they will dry out. I won't be keeping that lid on. They will dry out in a sort of cool, dry place, and then they'll be ready for sowing in the spring. But I think I might do some more of those. We gave our others away, and that we sowed, and also we sold some at the Hanwell Carnival last year. So yeah, I don't have any young plants at the moment, but I think we'll be doing some in the spring. Anyway, I did have a look at the second or the later sowing of broad beans that we did, the bed that went in last week, and there's no sign of germination yet, but certainly the germination in the bed directly in front of me is going on pretty well, and the garlic is up as well. I think we saw that at the tail end of last week. So I think later in the week I will be doing some, sorry about the flaring, I'm not quite sure why it does that, but there we are. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing this week, but I think it may involve a little bit of seed sowing. Anyway, I will see you then. Hope all is well with you. See you very soon. Bye. Good day. Rather lovely sky there. We've just gone past 3:30, so the sun is past the 3:30 tree over there. The sun's actually getting quite low in the sky now, so yeah, it's getting cool quite early on now. I think it's going to be about 4 degrees this evening. But I have to say, you know, if I look up there, I mean, that's just a glorious, glorious sky. But yeah, down here, suddenly everything comes into the correct light for down here. I've been thinking whether I extend the slabs out here. So these compost bins are going to be moving, as you know. That will be over the, maybe, hopefully we'll be able to get that done in the next, or certainly before Christmas, fingers crossed. And then this bed will be extended to over here. There is the rose tree there, so I just need to be a bit wary of that. But certainly this can extend out by a good 6 feet, maybe more. And then what came to mind when I woke up this morning at about 4 o'clock was whether I extend this area by 1 slab. So if I pull this back. Oh, by the way, someone was saying about it being screwed in, and it is screwed in. But you can see that there's a bit of slab width there. I thought if I bring it out by another slab, then I'll be able to put some pots of calendula or maybe sweet peas. I don't know, I'm never a great fan of sweet peas. They don't do that well for me anyway. I love them, but they don't do that well for me. I was thinking if I come out with another slab here, and what would I need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slabs. Then I could put some troughs along here and maybe put calendula or something like that in there. Or potentially even sort of parsley. I don't know. It seemed like a good idea this morning at 4 o'clock. It would, you know, putting another slab and a line of troughs, which I do have, I have the troughs anyway, would mean that I'd have a sort of little pathway along here, which I think in my head seemed very sensible this morning at 4 o'clock. Because we will still have plenty of room to grow. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think? I sort of like that idea. Now I'm thinking about it again. I do quite like that idea. Yeah. Anyway, we'll ponder that. I'm going to be picking some of the Portuguese cabbage tomorrow. Had a look in the bed here, which has got broad beans in it and nothing showing its head as yet, as far as I can see. I thought there might have been. What I do need to remember is that I did sow these and then put about another 1.5 inches of compost on top, so they've got a bit of a way to push themselves through, unlike the other bed. I think you can see there the garlic is pretty uniform. I think after another couple of weeks the bamboo canes can come off, which is great. And then if we come over here, hopefully you can also see that the lines of broad beans, 2 rows of double broad beans, is pretty uniform as well. So it's here and here, so that's all going well, and nothing in our pea bed yet. I just had a quick look, nothing in there yet. I don't think it'll be too long before they're up, but nothing yet. Anyway, I'm making a few plans of various things that need to be done, and also sort of taking my time in thinking about things as well. So I will think a couple more days about whether we add another sort of set of slabs here. I think I'd need to find that set of slabs. I don't think I've got them, but you know, they often come up on local Facebook groups and things like that. So yeah, anyway, let me know what you think. And I'm going to be moving these bamboos off, I think, on Friday if the weather is okay, because I'm going to be putting the Mizuna that we still have left in the edge here, along here, under, well, not under these because these won't be here, but along there, and then I can cover them, fleece them, and I think they'll grow quite well outside. Anyway, there we are. There's my thoughts for today, and there's the sun going down a few minutes after we saw it only a short while ago. Look at that sky. Oh, that's glorious, isn't it? It's glorious. It's like a fan, or Freddy Krueger's hands, I'm not sure which. Right, I'm going to leave it there. See you very soon. Bye. Good day. It's Friday. Well, it's Friday afternoon now. As you can see, there's lots of stacks of compost here. In fact, I think half of it has already gone. In fact, half of it has already gone. So that's great. It's all stacked up with people's names on, so they can come and collect it when they are free. And it was really good because we had a good turnout of people who helped take everything off the trucks, because there were 2 trucks that came in our gate here, backed in. We unloaded the first one, and then obviously that one went out and we unloaded the second one. We had 345 bags in total, and most of these are for people people with larger plots, because we did the paddock area, as you know, a few weeks ago. So yeah, there we are. Quite a lot of hard work, but we had a really good turnout of hands to help and take everything off the truck, as I say. Then everything was piled up into the piles of how many people had ordered. And I'm absolutely shattered now, absolutely shattered. So I'm going to go home and have some lunch, and I'll most probably see you tomorrow. I hope it's going to be a lovely day like it is today. Look, there's a plane flying in the sky there. Yeah, it's a lovely day today, and I'm not sure what it will be tomorrow, but we shall see. We shall see. See you very soon. Bye. Good day. It's quite a different day today than yesterday. Blue skies and lovely sun yesterday, and oh, magpie. And yeah, grey and wet today, but that was expected. I think that magpie actually is in that nest up there, or not at the moment, but in that nest on the left. I saw 2 magpies investigating that nest yesterday, and I'm not sure whether it's a nest that they're thinking of taking over, a nest that they may already have built and had fledglings from this year, or whether it's a squirrel's eyrie that they're wondering whether they can make their home. But yeah, there were 2 yesterday, and as I was standing here a moment ago, I could hear the one that was up here calling out, and there was another one somewhere over there calling back. But yeah, anyway, enough magpie chat. That's not what I was here for. I had been thinking about this area at this side of the greenhouse, and I knew that I had 2 quite slim troughs, and they'll just about fit on that area there. So what I'm thinking of doing is planting sweet peas into them. I've given them a bit of a clean, because I'm going to take them into the new to me greenhouse. So I've just given them a bit of a clean. Sorry, I'm moving bamboos by my leg, which I should have moved earlier in the week. In the summer, this side will get an awful lot of sun, and I'm just thinking if we have sweet peas going up here, it may mean that we don't have to put shading on the greenhouse. So that's my thought. And I've never really been lucky with sweet peas, so I thought, you know what, give them one more go. So that's what I'm going to do. They're going to sit in the greenhouse over the winter, most probably on that lower shelf there, and hopefully they will grow on. We shall see. Also, yesterday I was given this fabulous box. Look, wooden box. It's a bulbs box. One of our plot holders here is the head gardener of a very large headquarters of a very large international company, and they plant out in their around their offices and on their land about 20,000 bulbs a year, something like that. So this was a bulb box that she has given me, which I'm very grateful for. But yeah, what I'm going to do is just fill these up with compost, and then we'll pop in the greenhouse. I filled these 2 troughs up within about 1.5 inches of the top with compost, just multi-purpose compost, and I've sort of loosely pressed it down as well. And I'm going to be sowing these sweet pea Beaujolais. I just love the colour of these. I love Beaujolais wine. Well, I like wine, but I love Beaujolais wine. And it reminds me of the times of Beaujolais Nouveau, and, you know, bottles being rushed and places being the first place to serve Beaujolais Nouveau, which in Guernsey was a sort of annual occurrence, of course, because it is annual. I'm not sure the Beaujolais run sort of happens as much as it used to, but yeah, I think the colours here, the sort of deep burgundies and the sort of bright pinks, if you swill a glass of Beaujolais around in front of a candle, that's the sort of colours I think that one would get as the legs of the Beaujolais fall down the glass. Of course, Beaujolais Nouveau, because it is new wine, has very few legs, and sometimes used to taste really awful, but yeah, still used to enjoy it. So yeah, I'm just going to sow them on the surface here and then cover them up with about 1.5 inches of compost. It said that there were about 25 seeds in the packet. There's actually 36.5, so I'm going to just sow 18 in each of these troughs. So I've got 18 in my hand there. I'm just going to scatter them over where 2 do fall together. Unlike the peas, I am going to sort of move them because I'd like them sort of, you know, roughly not regimentedly along and in a regimented sowing pattern, but in a sort of loosely regimented sowing pattern. So I've got the others here now. One up there. Now two together there. Yep. One's dropped there. Where shall I put that one? That one there. That one there. That one there. Oh, one there. Fine. And now I've got some compost at the side of me. Oh, one more. Just making sure that the seeds are in contact with the compost and that the compost is padded down. Just rough up the surface a bit. This one needs more. A bit more there. That'll do. And of course, a quick water. So that's those Beaujolais sweet peas sown. So we'll see how they do. I'm just going to leave them on the top shelf here for the moment. And most probably move them down onto the lower shelf sometime next week. No, for no other reason than I'm not using the top shelf at the moment, but I may be using it next week or the week after. So yeah, they can stay here for the time being. Right, I'm going to leave it there for this week's A Week at the Plot. I still haven't been in the greenhouse whilst it's been raining, so I've still got that joy to come. Still thinking about those slabs down the front here, but I think that's a really good idea, so I am going to look for those slabs. And I think next week I'm going to be covering up the ground in front of the greenhouse here that we had prepared to cover over until we found out we were getting the greenhouse. So it needs to be covered, otherwise things will start growing on it. And even though we're going to be moving the compost bins, best to get the turned over ground covered before things start germinating there instead. But yeah, that's it for this week's A Week at the Plot. If you've got any comments or got any questions, please do leave them down below. If you're on Planet Vegetaria, there'll be other segments as we go through next week uploaded there. And obviously there'll be another upload in a week's time on YouTube. Look, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever you are growing, whether it's in your garden, an unusual growing space, or an allotment or community garden, I hope it is going well. Let me know how you are doing and what you're growing. Of course, some people are going into summer now. Others, like us, are sort of firmly headed into winter. So it will be very much weather dependent on what you are growing in your area. Some of you may already have snow. I don't know. Let us know how you're doing. Happy growing. Bye.